Hello, welcome back to our stream. So this is the second stream of 6th of April. And we're gonna take a look at how our run 53 is going. So this could be our baseline V2, but let's take a look at it first. So it stopped dropping the epsilon at 500k iterations, which is what we program it to do. So now it's just gonna have a 1% chance of taking a random move. And the loss is actually increasing. So this is quite interesting. So it increased around 250 turns. At the same time where the Q actually started jumping up. I still don't have an explanation on why Q started jumping up. I think one thing that could be happening is that we're not exploring all the states initially. That's why it only discovered some good states at this point, which is why it jumped. So interestingly, when we restart the run, it also jumps. So I'm not too sure why that happens. Looking at the reward, it's looking pretty good. We're quite consistently getting, higher than 0 reward, which means we're surviving until the end. Okay, so I think this is a good baseline to have. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna just actually try to submit this agent to the evaluation, to the Kaggle competition, and see how well it does. Does it actually do better than our previous random agent, or is it not as good, right? So I just want to see whether it's actually doing the correct things. And to do that, I'm gonna have to change a few things, I think. So this spot is where the agent actually runs. And we're calling the, what do you call that, get move, right? So we're calling this here, and it's trying to load the module. Else it's gonna init, right? So it's gonna call the act without learn, which looks correct, right? So we actually don't have to modify this file because the epsilon is already very low at 1%. So let's actually try to run this against our player and see how it works. Sorry, not this one. I think I can modify the script somehow. Watch for, no, we need to run watch 2, right? Because now it's 2-player. We're gonna play with simple, right? Because I think that's the agent we're trained on. I don't want to play against like good players yet. I mean we can, but it's probably not gonna do too well, right? So let's play with the simple one first and see how well it does. You can see it's already trying to build shipyard, right? Now it's just launching to the north, to the south, to the north. Trying to build shipyard still. Quite interesting. Still trying to build a shipyard. Okay, it's really trying really hard to build a shipyard, I guess. Okay, now it has enough money to build a shipyard. It's already building a shipyard. And then it's building more shipyard, but the simple bot is building at a faster pace, right? And then we got eliminated. Actually, I don't know why the simple bot is building like so much more shipyards. Oh, it has a lot more ships than us at turn 100. Okay, interesting. I guess it's not farming as efficiently as the bot, or maybe just, yeah, it's not like being very smart about what to do, I feel like. Right, so I guess that's the main reason why it died here. Yeah, it's not super smart actually. It's not as smart as I expected to be. I guess from watching the game we can learn a lot about why it didn't go so well. Just trying to build shipyards, right, all over the place, and eventually got overwhelmed by the red. It's quite interesting, right? Quite fascinating now what it's trying to do here. What could we have done better actually at this stage? It's trying to build ships and it's sending them out. I guess it doesn't have attack mechanism. That could be the reason why. Yeah, I think when it's mining, it actually takes the safe path, not the aggressive path, right? So that's why it's not actually winning. Okay, very interesting, very interesting. Let's just submit this and see how it goes. I feel like at this stage of, I might as well just try, right? Yeah, the problem is with this node module, so I have to kind of swap this out with something else here. Let me see. So I have this. Where is my node modules? Huh, where is my node modules? I remember I had the node modules here, but it's no longer here. Oh, it's here. Okay, it's not in the workspace. Okay, let's move that into the workspace. So this is the new one. Yeah, let's copy this to here. Oops. What did I do? Did I do something wrong? Okay, I got it. So this is the old. I'm gonna rename this to copy, right? Okay. I'm gonna rename this to normal node modules, right? And let me check my script. My script does this. Okay, so I have to delete my old ones, I guess. Let's delete until maybe 50. Anyway, these are quite small, so they shouldn't take up much space. Yep. So let's move this to faces here. Okay, so it's this one is loading. So it's loading 53, so it's fine. Okay, let's see. npm run tar. Okay, okay. So it's 26 megabytes. Wait a second. Wait a second. I remember I had a place to test this. Okay, it's here. So I just have to delete this. Maybe delete this. Copy this here. Do this. Expand. Okay, then I just need to run my command here. See if that works. Oh, it didn't work. Let me see. Permission. Okay, I guess. Permission error. Oh, okay. I need to come out and then cd in again. Okay, let's see. Oh, it's super fast. Wait, what happened? Wait, what? It just died? Wait, why? Why did it just die? Did I do something wrong here? Dist bot. Okay, something is wrong here. What? Why is it only 3 rounds? Okay, alt should be a bit of log. Okay, now we have the log file. Let's see what. Cannot find our TensorFlow node. Okay, okay. I see. TensorFlow node. Why is it trying to use TensorFlow? Oh, I guess it's this thing. Okay, I have to swap this whenever I submit. Oh, this is quite annoying, right? I have to swap this thing out before I can do a submit. Right. Have to remember this somehow. So now that it's gone, I can convert it back to like this. Yeah, it's not gonna find node because it doesn't exist. I'm gonna have to copy this again to here. Place, delete this, and then this. Oops. Let's run this again. Oh, it still died. Wait, there should be a log command. Oh, I accidentally deleted the log command. That's why. That's why it wasn't printing logs. Okay, now it's still erroring out. Let me check the logs. Could not find TensorFlow. Something is still requiring TensorFlow node. Is there someone requiring train? Oh, it does. It is required. Train DQN is required. Huh, I wonder who requires train DQN. It shouldn't be required. Okay, I guess it's not really required. Someone else is using this. Nobody else is using this. Then why is this suddenly required? Let me take a closer look at the logs. Requires that DQN game agent. Okay. Oh, I think I didn't compile, and that's why it didn't work. Okay. I guess I forgot to compile it again before I submit. So this is how it's supposed to work. I'm gonna need to run npm compile first. Oh wait, doesn't the tar already run npm compile? What? Okay. Okay, so here's a problem, I guess. The tar doesn't run npm compile, and I cannot run npm compile here because it's trying to get TensorFlow node. Okay, so I have to do this. I have to remove my old node module, remove this, and rename this back to node modules. Right? And then now I should be able to run compile. And then after I compile, and then I move my replacement module over. So this is a little bit of work involved in this workflow. That's why I don't want to do this like a lot of times. Oh no, this is the old one. Okay, let's just delete the old one. Right, and then I have to rename this, and now I can run npm tar. Right, so now it should be fine. Now this should work, hopefully. Let's see, copy to here, replace, copy this. Okay, now let's run it again. Oh no, why it still failed? Still failed. Cannot read property undefined of no system router. Oh, why is this below? Okay, that's super weird. It's supposed to be above here, like here, right? Okay, I guess I have to redo the whole thing all over again. It's not very convenient, but it has to be done. Alright, I hope this is the last time that I'm doing this, because it's honestly getting quite annoying to fix all these problems just to get this working. So I'm gonna run npm compile again to get the correct code. And then I have to swap the node modules from here. Oh, maybe a better way is I have a zip file. I have a zip file so that I don't have to constantly swap left and right. I guess that's a better way to do this. So this is the original node modules, right? Let's compress this as well. Oh, it's gonna take a while to compress and decompress this, right? Huh. Interesting, interesting. I guess not necessary. I'll just leave this old. And I'll name this the node module. Okay, npm run tar. Okay, now we got this. Delete this. Copy here. Oops, should have deleted that as well. Expand this. Then I'm gonna go to my second monitor and go to that file. Run the evaluation again. Okay, now it seems to be working because it's taking a long time. Let's see. Okay, it at least able to load. So it died, but at least it was able to load it. All right, so I think it works, at least to a certain extent. Oh wait, did I stop training somehow? Okay, I guess I stopped training already, so okay, so I guess that is the submission that I'm going to submit. Let's submit this one, and we'll check back its performance later. Okay, what is this? Do I want to call this the baseline v2? I think I would, right? This is pretty much baseline v2. Yeah, dash u. I will probably call this baseline v1, v1.1. Right. Let's see. We have the model here. v1.5, right? 1.5. Yes, that's how it works. Okay. Okay, so that's v1.5. Push this. So based on v1.5, we're gonna submit this to the Kaggle evaluation platform, and hopefully it's gonna do slightly better than our previous, test submit. So I think I submitted a test run last time just to check if our thing actually works, right? So I think this is gonna do hopefully better than that. Not too sure, but let's see, right? Okay, so this is the previous one I submitted. Hopefully this is gonna be better than this one. If it's not better, then what am I doing, right? All right, okay, so let's get back to work. Okay, so this is here, which is correct. Let's remove this lines. Command out this too and enable this too. Okay, right. We need to swap out the modules. So let's just do that. Modules, you are gone. All modules, you're back. Oh, it's not able to find it. It's already there. It's fine. It's fine. So it will figure it out soon, I guess. Okay, so we have a few things I want to do here to further improve our model. Right, so now it's doing something like this, which is okay, but not super good. Definitely something I want to do is to explore more at the start. think that is probably why it's jumping stairs like this for the Q value. Okay, let's do this one by one. These are some minor improvements I can think of without changing the architecture too much, right? And these are some of the bigger changes. Right? Okay, let's take these smaller changes first because they are quite easy to implement and they might boost our performance substantially. We have a small reward for having high core for having a high core and surviving 400. So I feel like yeah, I think that should be encouraged. So let's see here. We can remove the end game. Remove the end game turn, late turn reward, and replace it with something for this, right? I think that's more fair. So the reward graph is gonna reward function is coming more smooth. A number of turn factor is 0. Right? You can just set this to 0 to remove that. Actually, we should just delete this because I don't actually see the point of having this at all. Okay, let's just delete this. Okay. I'm gonna give some reward for winning with a big big reward. Right? So so the survival reward will still give 40 or maybe lower it a little bit. So survival reward is 35 const survive with high core reward equals to maybe 5. I think I don't want to set it too high. Well, if reward greater than, okay, so I'm gonna put the else if here. If reward is greater than, I don't know how much. Okay, maybe 500. I don't know. Just putting a random number there. Plus survive with high core. Maybe a better way is to just set this to this and then set this directly. Okay, so it's gonna be closer to 60 than this one. Alright, so I think this is fair. This is fair. Okay, we've done this too. Log penalties. It's just a very minor thing. Right? Should count penalty. Okay. We're logging should count penalty already. So that's done. We log 3 turns before dying, right? So I think that's pretty important. Let's do that. Let's see, how do we do this? If next status equal to done and turn equal to true, right? Need to write this a little bit carefully. How to write this in an if else? Okay, I think I know how to write this. Oh wait, I can put this outside, right? Yeah, actually I can put this outside, so I only have to do this once. Right, let's catch this 5 steps ahead, right? I think if I do this correctly, it should start changing the and so on equals to at 5 steps ahead, then we don't actually need this anymore, right? So the end zone is always going to be true for the next 5 turns. Just get this automatically. I think that's a much better move. Let me see if these numbers are correct. -1 + 1. Okay, it should be correct. Yes. Okay, I think that should work. Okay, higher penalties for not enough ship. Yes, that's something I need to do. Feel like the penalty is not enough. Less than 50 equals to -5. I think -5 is probably a little bit. -3. Maybe 30 is -3. 25. -5. I think it's better. -3. 5, 50. 50 and 25, not much difference. I feel like. Okay, I think this is better, maybe. Yeah. So erase the penalty. Okay. With this penalty, I feel like we don't can adjust the ship reward, right? Because we already have penalty for not having enough, so we don't need that much high ship count reward, right? So we can bring this down a little bit, I feel like. Yeah, it should figure it out. So let's bring it down to 1.3. And this one is an extra, so let's bring it down to 0.5. Okay, okay. Okay, that's done. Let's explore more at start. So this one is controlled with the epsilon. Sorry. DQN game agent. It's this one. All right. This one is controlled by epsilon. So like if we want to explore higher, we should set this higher to, I don't know, 0.8. I guess that's much more random, right? I feel like, yeah, that's much more random. Maybe let's delay training a little bit more, right, as well. I feel like we need more data to start training. So let's wait until we get 600 samples before we start training. Right? Okay, that's about 4 to 5 games. All right. I think that's all the changes I want to make at this stage. I think that should give us a better baseline, hopefully. I'm not very sure if it's gonna be better, but I feel it's gonna be better, right? Maybe let's check the progress of this. Okay. Okay, 7, 6, 7. Okay, we have 1, 2 games so far. Okay, fine. We will need to take a look at it later. So for now, we have made all the changes that we want to make. Right, so this should theoretically help us get a better score, right? One thing we haven't fixed is that it's tend to favor building ships too much towards the end. I hope that is fixed with these changes. Right. Yeah. Yeah, we need to design the reward function to be very, very smooth. And let me check against my historical data if it's smooth. So for cases like this, it's 19 to 40. So it's 22 to 40, 19 to 40. So now after my change, it's gonna be to 35 instead of 40, right? This is 25, 29. Didn't win. Oh no, what happened? This is 31. It's my 31. Minus 10. Oh, the reward is 0, right? Yes. Oh, wait, this is a bug, right? It shouldn't be minus 10. Okay, so this is a small bug that we can fix right now. Reward is greater or equal to 0, right? So at least it survived. So that's a small bug that we can fix. So here 21 jump to 40, 30 jump to 40. So this is where, you know, the ship count and the log ship count kind of mess things up, right? The reward is a little bit too high. 7 plus 8 times 8 is 16. 7 plus 16 is already 23. Yeah, I feel like the delta ship reward is probably a little bit too high. Yeah, I already reduced it to 0.5, so it should be more even now. But anyway, this is pretty much a iterative process, right? So I still have to try a lot of different things to figure things out. I think 35 is fine for now. I think it should be fine. All right, let's start training. It's gonna be 54 and train. All right. Cannot find duplicate identifier. Oh, this one. Okay. Okay, I guess this one is completely not necessary. Let's see. It's not started training yet, so it's none, which is correct. I want to fill our replay memory a little bit more before we start training. Okay, now I start training. I think it's 640, right? Now it's like has a 0.8% chance, sorry, 80% chance of performing a random. So I think this should actually do quite well. Okay, we also got the last 5 turns of events, so we can observe, what it's trying to do here. It's pretty nice. That's pretty nice. So you see here it has a lot of core, but it's not building ships, right? So that's definitely something that is wrong. It should learn to do it. The build ship is 2, right? So I would expect to see more 2s coming up later. So hopefully this is gonna get rid of the queue suddenly jumping problem. Yeah. Actually, with like completely random, it's doing actually not too bad, right? It's not doing too bad. Okay, looks pretty good. Let's check out the graph. Okay, so the loss is dropping, the queue is increasing. We don't care about reward now, so everything looks pretty fine. It's too early to compare yet, but yeah, we'll let this run for a while. And let's check out our bot. Okay, it's not doing better than the previous one, so for some reason. Okay, that's a little bit strange. Maybe it's just a random noise, right? Let's see how this one went. It's pretty interesting that we lost. To be fair, this is worse than the simple bot baseline, right? So I'm not expecting it to do super well. Oh, wow. The board size actually reduced. Okay, that's gonna be a different strategy involved. So we mined less core than our opponent. That's why we lost. Okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Okay. Yeah, I mean this spot is not optimized to mine cores, right? Okay, I think they changed the rule again. Okay, sure. Like, why not change the rules? Okay, let's see. Okay, maybe this one is also a lot less. The port size also become less, I guess. Yeah, the port size became less. So this is pretty interesting. Okay. At this stage, it already has more ships than us. I wonder why. Is it farming more efficiently? We're still standing these 3 ships. Okay, I guess that one was not very optimized. So yeah. Anyway, I don't really care about the rule-based agent anymore. So it's fine that they lost. More interested in whether we can use DQN or deep learning to solve this problem. Looking at this graph, it's still looking pretty good. Still looking pretty good. I don't need to smooth this at all. So it's gonna be 0. I'm surprised that the loss start out so high though. Why is the loss so high? Let's observe these things to see if this reward function makes sense, right? So here it got a increase because it built ships, which is fine. So this tool should have similar equal amount of weight, roughly. So this is one. This is. Let me actually check this. Oops, to do this. Yeah, so the core is 1 and the ship count is 1.3, right? So, and this is 0.5. Yeah, so it's a small boost here. And the core is still much higher weight than the ship, right? So it's working as expected, I would say. This is 19, but it has the ship penalty, right? So it's -3. So everything works out here, I think. Yeah, it built ship as well, so it has a bonus of building ships. And here it continued to build ship, but it got destroyed, right? Which is unfortunate. Okay. Yeah, so this one, there's not much we can do here, I guess. We should be building ships, so it's doing the right thing, right? It's at least doing the right thing. It's building ships. I think it's a little bit too late at this stage. Look at this one. It's quite low. Okay, so before it died, it had a lot of cores, right? So, right, and that's not gonna work. Oh wow, we completed this game and we actually have a lot of cores left. So let's look at this game. So we have very few ships, so actually we keep getting the -5. So this should theoretically encourage you to build ships. Right, so once you stop building ships, you get the penalty here. And then you also get a large penalty here because you lost all the ships, right? So here it's trying to build ships to compensate, so you get a higher reward, which is what we expect. And then here you won. So it's a big boost. So this reward is gonna back propagate and then allow us to, you know, learn that building ship is good, right? So it's doing what it does. So this is very good. I think I like this so far. Hopefully it's gonna yield us baseline v2. If not, I'm just gonna call the previous baseline 1.5 as baseline v2 and call it a day, I guess. I think we're still making good progress, right? I thought there are many other people doing deep learning yet for this problem. So we still got a shot in the official competition, I think, if we keep on working on this. All right, the graph still looking good. The reward is quite interesting. So just by playing randomly, it's already doing pretty good. Oh yeah, just now the one that we won with a lot of reward is actually random, right? So it's not because our policy was good, it's just randomly won. So actually we might not be doing better than the random agent actually. Come to think about it. Come to think of this. And the random agent is actually doing pretty well. I mean, to be fair, it's quite hard to learn what to do well in each situation, right? So I guess the random agent performing well is not exactly surprising, because if you just like do them like equally, it's gonna be pretty good, right? I feel like a random agent is probably above average of a simple trained agent, right? So yeah, interesting insights. Yeah, actually by doing random stuff, you're actually doing pretty well in this, right? Because you are actually required to alternate between all this. So a random agent is actually gonna do pretty well, surprisingly. Okay. Oh wow, you can see here we got a very high reward here. We actually won the game for this one. I didn't expect that. So a random agent is actually capable of winning a game. Huh? This is where we actually won, right? This is a very good case here, and you should definitely be rewarded. Okay, hopefully that one is gonna give us a boost in terms of Q value loss. All right, I think yeah, the training is going well, so I will just let this train continuously, and let you guys watch the training progress, right? So guess I'll see you guys in about 10 minutes. All right, we're back. I'm looking at this graph and this looks interesting to say the least. So maybe we can compare with our previous baseline and see what's happening here. Right. So definitely we're doing very different things because the epsilon is so high that most of it's just random. There's a few interesting observations. So first off, the loss and Q graph looks normal. I think this is pretty normal. What's interesting is that the reward is actually much higher, right? For this normal, this random behavior is actually yielding a average, a on average higher return, like higher final score than our previous baseline, right? So actually, that means just playing randomly already outperform our previous baseline. But our previous baseline excels in the sense that it's more consistently getting closer to the end of the game, right? So this is where it's interesting. So it's more stable than random. So for random games, like, you might finish a lot earlier, right? But you can see here in our previous baseline, it's actually much more consistent that we're able to finish towards the end of the game. We're able to survive very long. Whereas for random, even though the average return is very high, but there are some cases where it's not able to survive, right? So I guess that's the main difference that I can see. So I think it's still gonna take a very, very long way for it to sort of complete the training, complete one approach training, which is 2000 episodes and about 500k iterations. So yeah, I think so far I don't see any major issues here in terms of the graphs. Let's take a look at the specific the logs and see if we can identify something here that is potentially problematic. Hopefully not. So the log is, wait a second, train log 54. Oh no, did I run a wrong command? Oh no, okay, I think I ran the wrong command. Oh yeah, I think I run the train and then I forgot to type the command maybe. Yeah, I think that's what happened. So I lost the logs. Oh well, I think this doesn't really matter that much. Just need to be more careful with running these commands, I guess. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't really matter because we can just look at the logs here anyway. So taking a look at this one, how did we lost? So we have a pretty low ship count, but we have a high core count. So we're trying to build ships, which is correct move. But we lost a lot of them because they are. Oh, we lost the shipyard. Okay, so that's interesting. So we lost the ship because we lost the shipyard. Right. That's interesting. That's a more advanced interaction that I guess the model is not able to learn yet because we don't have the positional data at all. So I don't think the model can do much there, unfortunately. Yeah. Okay. Oh yeah, I think we can also improve our mining route to include like mining between stations, so that would be quite cool. Haven't figured out how to do it yet. So this one we lost because, we're sitting on a bunch of core and we're not building ships, which is interesting. So, but here we're building a ship and we got a reward for doing that. Hmm. Okay. Why it is 7 though? Outside issue. Oh, why is it 7? That doesn't look correct. It's 10. It's times 10. And this one is not times 10. Okay, so that one is actually times 10. Okay, interesting. I didn't realize that was times 10. Okay. I guess it makes sense, right? If you're building 15 ships, you get 8 rewards. That's quite high, actually. It doesn't seem to be that much higher. Delta, okay, so this is 0.5. Okay, so it kind of cancels out each other a little bit. Okay. Let's look at this one where we won. Okay, so this one we won actually pretty well. Wow. It's I guess by random chance. So we still have a 68% of chance of doing something random. And it somehow won. Okay, good. Good. Let's see if any of this doesn't make sense. Okay, so it's so far making sense here. We definitely need to encode the spawn thing. We need to encode whether we have enough ship to spawn, right? So I think this is something we need to encode. So this will be 75 to reduce the amount of useless work that it's trying to do. I think once we achieve a good baseline, we'll try something more experimental, right? Like adding more strategies, changing how we encode information, stuff like that. We can do a lot more experiments once we have a stable baseline. And I hope that the one that we submitted just now was a stable baseline. Yeah, it's definitely doing better than this, I think. This one is 20. The uncertainty is okay, so this one uncertainty is very low, this one uncertainty is still high, so we're not too sure if this is the final accurate rating, but it seems to be doing better than the previous one at least. So that's good. Nobody has replied to my post on my model setup yet, so that's a little bit sad. I was hoping people are gonna reply and help me out here. Anyway, yeah, so this is also good, but it somehow we didn't even win with this kind of advantage. We didn't win, so that's pretty interesting. All right, so I think this one, I'm honestly very surprised that our random agent was actually doing better than our baseline agent. Yeah, I'm really surprised. That seems like that's how it works now. Yeah, this is really good, right? This kind of data is really good, and it's actually won. So I guess if we just submitted an agent that does random things, it's just gonna outperform the previous baseline, which is pretty funny if you think about it. Interesting. Okay, this is an interesting case. So it has 0 ships, but a lot of core, and it's trying to build shipyard. So this should definitely be heavily penalized, right? So all this should be penalized. definitely should be penalized here. Yeah, it has a penalty of -5 already, so should be penalized. Maybe you should add a penalty for having too much core and no ships. I think no ships is already a big penalty in itself already, so I think it's fine. Should be fine. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so in this case, for example, there's a big penalty here, but if you try to build ship, then it's gonna sort of offset the penalty a little bit. And if you stop building ships, it's gonna get hit by the penalty again. So yeah, I think this is the correct behavior that I want to introduce. Right, so this 19 is gonna steer it towards building ship, taking action 2. And this 12.2 reward is gonna steer away from doing 0, right? Because this one has higher reward. Yeah, so that's the logic of reinforcement learning. You use the reward to kind of signal to the agent what's the best move under a certain situation. We can see here again, have a lot of core, and so here you're trying to build, but you lost the ship, so actually this one didn't get any reward, so that's kind of a noise. This is pretty much a noise, right? Actually, we should try to avoid this kind of noise. How do we avoid this kind of noise though? Okay, I guess if there's an increase in the inside ship, we should give it a reward or something like that. I don't know. Okay. Why did we lost core here? We lost core and the ship. This is interesting. Why did we lost core but we didn't get ship? How could you have spent the core but not get ship? So maybe the 5 ships died and then we built 5 more ships and it just happened to cancel each other. Yeah, maybe that is the reason why. 5 times. Yeah, that looks about right. And so sometimes it samples this kind of noise where it just happened to cancel each other. Yeah, which is unfortunate. So we need to prevent this kind of noise. So I think this is a good case of noise being introduced. Yeah, this is a very good case of noise where we actually built a ship but we didn't get a reward because we happened to lost the amount of ship as well. So how can we detect this? Oh, I guess if your reward decreased and you didn't die, that means you spend it, right? I feel like. Yeah, we could use the core delta to detect building ship, right? So this is a more reliable information about whether we're building ship, because the only way you can spend core is actually to build ship, unless you die, right? I think even if you die, the core is still there. So I think this is a good way to, better way to calculate the rebuild ship. So this is definitely something we need to do as an optimization, as an improvement. So it's more of a bug fix actually. Let's look at more data. This one should just honestly just build ship. This one same, just build more ships. I think it's already trying that, but it didn't build here, so it died. Yeah, this one as well didn't build ship, so it died. This one is too late. Building ship too late. Wait, does build ship happen before the collision, or actually I haven't really looked at it. Which one comes first? Spawning and launching comes first. Okay. If that's the case, then this should have reduced our core count. I guess it doesn't really matter at this stage because we have no core. Yeah, it doesn't matter which action we take here. Okay, so this is good, encouraging to build ship. Yes, very good. Here it's not building ships. I guess most of these losses are not building ships, right? Yes. This one is pretty good. This one, yeah, not building enough ships. But this one is actually building ship here. And it's getting the reward, right? So it should steer it towards this one. If the Q value is higher than our current Q value, average is already 40 something. So it definitely should prioritize this higher value, 25, 26. Yeah, so far looking pretty good with this. You can see our loss graph is very, very nice. It's very, very nice. Q is stagnated a little bit, which is not so good, but I guess that's normal. I would like it to slightly increase over time though, but it's not, it's like oscillating between 42 and 41, so I'm not sure why. Could be interesting to figure out why, but anyway, it's still doing better than our previous baseline, even though it's like 65% chance of random movement. It's actually doing much better. You can see here in terms of the raw rewards. Of course, in terms of the turns, it's not doing. Actually, I should track another reward of losing versus winning, right? I think that would be useful. Yeah, I should have another log losing and winning boolean in TF board. I think this is quite important to know if we're starting to turn the tide between losing and winning, right? To see if we are winning more games. I feel that that's pretty important to know. Yeah, but definitely our baseline was more stable in the sense that we achieved much later stage and then this randomness. Yeah, so I guess that's all for this string. I will let this model run continuously overnight. And by the time we wake up, we should have our new baseline v2, right? So that's the goal that I have here. I think the memory is not a big issue. Yeah, it's not leaking memory anymore. It's just gonna be stable around 3.8 gig, which is fine. Yeah, so yes, I will see you guys tomorrow and see if this model works. We don't really have a lot of time because this is gonna end in 1 day, so we have to get something better than our previous baseline before this concludes, right? I feel like that's the goal anyway. All right, I will see you guys tomorrow and see what our run 54 looks like after 500,000 iterations. Okay.